Welcome to M3 Live. I'm your host, Joe Beck, the CEO of M3Linked, and I am super excited about today's live stream. We have a very special guest in the studio with us today. I can't wait for this interview. I want to take this opportunity to introduce John Rurkowski. John is a seasoned broker associate, mentor, and team leader with eXp Realty. Before entering the real estate industry, John honed his leadership and production management skills at Dunlop Tire in Buffalo, New York. Drawn to the warmer climates, he quickly found his passion and purpose in real estate. At his previous brokerage, John played a pivotal role in growing the company into the nation's largest single office with over 1,800 realtors. His strategic leadership tripled the organization's income and set the standard for operational excellence, with his procedures being adopted by brokerages nationwide. His accomplishments earned him the prestigious titles of Realtor of the Year in 2015 and induction into the Realtor Hall of Fame in 2020. And way to get a load of what he's working on now, building an international cloud brokerage. Please welcome to M3 Live, John Rurkowski. Good morning, John. How are you?
Joe, I'm excellent. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share a little bit about my story.
That's great. Look, John, I'm so excited about this opportunity to learn more. John, we've known each other a little bit, but for our audience, why don't you tell everybody a bit about your business?
Sure, Joe, and thank you again for this opportunity. You know, I really look at real estate, and I've been doing it now for almost 25 years. First as a realtor with a Century 21 office in a Tampa suburb. Then I moved my license to a Charles Rutenberg Realty in 2003, where I became, the managing broker of that office. My uncle was the owner at the time, and he said, John, if you want to run the office, please do so. So it was a phenomenal opportunity for me. And whether we're working with realtors or buyers or sellers, I like the term helping families transition to the next chapter in their life. And that's what we do as realtors. It's not selling properties per se, but more than that, it's helping people, move on from, for example, helping widows move, up to be with their children, or helping new parents, upsize to a bigger home. So I find real estate to be an extraordinarily fulfilling job. And it's not a job; it's a calling, and we do so much more than just show properties. We are builders of communities, and that's what I am doing now, and I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got the right servant heart towards that industry for sure. Now, John, you've been in the business for a while now. One of the things that I know a lot about you already is you've been involved with a lot of real estate transactions, certainly much more than the average realtor. So tell me a little bit about your transaction history, some of the volumes you've done. Love to understand that about your business.
Yeah, really, for those in the business, it's mind-blowing the number of transactions we did. And really, it's because of the size of the office and the number of realtors that we had in the office. Just to give the audience an example, most realtors, on average, they may close 4 to 6 transactions per year, okay? And so because we had so many agents in the office, we were doing 800 closings per month. So that is it's an unbelievable amount of transactions and oversight. And that's why I got really good at reading contracts, overcoming objections, helping realtors, find a legal and ethical way to get things done. Because when we have a buyer and a seller in a transaction, they both have the same goal. So how do we help them get to that goal? So I got really very, very good at that. Because of the experience, the Florida Realtor Board asked me to sit on the committee to write the contracts, which I was certainly more than honored to do. And it's always interesting when you have attorneys on one side and brokers on the other, kind of to figure out the best way to write up a contract to keep everybody legally and ethically bound to a transaction. Different perspectives, but again, with the same goal. So that experience running that company and all those transactions, and then sitting on the board writing the new contract, was great experience for me going forward and helping new agents get on board, join the team, and help them close more transactions.
Wow, that's amazing. I hear that number and I'm just blown away. I can imagine most people think about real estate transactions and they think of smaller numbers, as you said, but when you're talking about 800 a month being processed in your office, that's a lot of transactions. Now,
And Joe, when we first started, we were using a fax machine. Okay, so you can imagine the paper, lots of reams of legal size paper coming in. So we quickly transitioned to what we called the fax server at the time, which was just a way to digitize without touching any paper. Yeah, we had to do something.
I would imagine, no doubt. Now, I also know that there's something very special about your brokerage and the business model behind it. Why don't you take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about your business model with your brokerage?
Sure. eXp Realty is really the model of the future. And although we are not new, we're being copied by other companies right now because obviously that is the wave of the future. No brick and mortar, okay, virtual offices basically, because the average realtor is not spending much time in an office, and yet they're paying for it in the ways of higher monthly fees, a higher commission split, and not getting the tools they need to be successful. So eXp Realty was formed by Glenn Sanford in 2009, and we are now in 27 foreign countries, and we're approaching 100,000 realtors across the globe. And why are we growing? Because realtors, for the most part, realize we don't need a building, and why should I pay for something? I would rather have the cash in my pocket. Karen Vomaro, my business partner, I have a term: cash, not plaques. Keep the plaques, show me the cash, let me run my business the way I want and increase my net income. And eXp Realty allows us to do that. We're publicly traded on NASDAQ. We are shareholders in the company, and the company allows us to share in the revenue as well. So there's numerous streams of income with our brokerage, cloud-based, no brick and mortar, low overhead, and a very fair commission split, giving us all the tools we need to be more successful. When you see brokerages that are being copied, those are the ones that those see the future being the place to be. The traditional franchise type models certainly aren't growing, and certainly not at the pace that eXp Realty is.
Wow, that's an amazing amount of growth in such a short amount of time.
It really
You
is.
think of the nature of many industries moving away from brick and mortar, away from the heavy expense, and putting more revenue in the hands of the people that are operating it. That's certainly a growing trend, not just in real estate. So if you were going to put a message out to a realtor as to why they would want to choose your brokerage, what would that message be?
You know, I share with a lot of agents. I've had thousands of conversations over the 25 years that people work with people, not brokerages per se. So no matter where you hang your license, your production is going to be about the same if you don't change anything. So why not align with a brokerage which is going to put more money in your pocket, give you multiple streams of revenue, create a retirement plan for you? You know, we have kind of a sad joke in the realty world that you never go to a realtor's retirement party, you go to their funeral. So as sad as that is, it's so true, because we're never given the opportunity, because many realtors don't put themselves in the position to pay taxes ahead of time, to have a savings plan, etc., because they're always running for the next transaction. eXp gives us that ability to almost like a forced savings plan, like almost a 401k type plan. They give us the stock options. They allow us to share in revenue. You know, I truly can honestly tell everybody listening that eXp is the only true 100% plus brokerage out there. You may hear a lot of companies saying we're 100% shop. Baloney. Nobody's 100% shop unless the brokerage is giving you something back. If you're always paying in a little bit, you can never be at 100%. The only way you can is when the brokerage contributes back to you. So I'd say any agent, check out, do your due diligence. Look for a brokerage that has your interest at heart, and also align with the team that is there, not with a handout, but a hand up to help you in your business. eXp is the model of the future, and even though we're 16 years old now.
Wow, that is amazing. Definitely. I mean, your description of it is impressive. And I can imagine how many realtors are in that situation where they're staring retirement in the face because they didn't have that in the past, and now that's available to them with EXP. Now, John, you and I met through M3Linked, the nation's premier collaboration community for entrepreneurs. Tell me a little bit about your experience with M3Linked. Why M3Linked? Why are you active in the community? What is it about the community that you see that is the driving force behind your involvement?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. I'm so honored to be a member of M3Linked. You know, it reminds me a lot of the EXP business model in the fact that the collaboration at EXP, it's a completely different mindset than most other brokerages. And the members that I have met at M3Linked, not only in Tampa, but across the country, they're always thinking about the other members. They keep their ears and eyes open for opportunities for the other members. So, you know, on my mastermind this morning with my real estate group, I mentioned networking, one-on-ones, getting to know people. You know, when we try to help others in their business, it reciprocates back to us. Even though we're not looking to get something back from the members, they're always there for us. So it has changed my life, not only personally, but in business. I've met members on there that have helped me with my health and guidance that way. You know, a few of the other members are just enlightening and just so motivating that you just want to help yourself and them in turn. And obviously, business-wise, I've received numerous referrals from members across the country, and they're asking, what's in it for me? It's like, hey, I know a guy in Tampa. I know a guy in New York. I have a health advisor here in the Florida area, whatever it might be. The connections are priceless. And I just can't imagine anybody who wants to grow their net income, net worth, networking. They should really check out M3Linked.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. There are a lot of similarities between M3Linked and EXP Realty in that we don't operate M3Linked with brick and mortar. It's all a virtual experience, allowing entrepreneurs to be able to connect and collaborate. Now, if you were speaking to another entrepreneur, obviously they have a lot of different choices of places that they might go to meet other entrepreneurs, network, and connect with people. What would you share with somebody who would be considering taking a look at M3Linked?
Well, depending on your business, now some are going to be local, but many are not. And the virtual platform allows us to be in Los Angeles one day, Las Vegas, New York, Philadelphia, and Tampa, and other places. And we can grow our business. And you never know who is listening to on that call that day, that they may not need your services, but you're planting the seed in their head for their referral partners as well. So, not only are the members listening when we meet, in my case, on Tuesday mornings in Tampa, but again, we're keeping our ears and eyes open for opportunities for the other members. You've got to get out there and network more often with professionals, and that's what EXP is. What M3 is all about. The level of sophistication and professionalism with the members of M3 is really second to none. And although, Joe, we don't have requirements to do one-on-ones or meet with people or make sure that we are referring, it's kind of a given that we're trying to do that, but it's not a requirement. So I think that's one of the big pluses of being with M3Linked.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, John, how can somebody get in touch with you? It's a realtor or somebody who's got a real estate transaction they need some help with. How can somebody reach you?
Well, I'd be glad to share my cell number. I am on LinkedIn and Facebook as well, and I've got a YouTube channel that I try to share, real estate questions and answers and tips of the day. With my experience, I'll never run out of material. That's for sure. I wish I wrote a book, Joe. It would have been a fun reread when I'm, 20 years later. But my cell is 727-459-7356. My name is very different. I would like to share with the audience. My dad's name was changed in the Korean War. So my uncles are Rurkowski. I'm probably the only Rurkowski in the country. So if you're Googling me, make sure you spell it with the R-U-R in there. So get a hold of me. I'd love to connect with you. I get back to people right away if I don't answer immediately. I had 1,800 realtors. You can imagine how busy I was. So
I
I've
can.
learned to get back to people quickly and get whatever answers I can for them immediately as well.
That's great. Well, John, thank you so much for joining us today. Our special guest in the studio for M3 Live today has been John Rurkowski. If you've got a real estate transaction, or if you're a realtor looking for a better model to take care of your future, connect with John, learn how he can help. This is Joe Beck with M3Linked and M3 Live. It's been great to have you with us today, John.
My
Guys,
pleasure,
enjoy your
Joe.
day.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Take care.
You too.